Once you witness the magic of it and that you get to bring your best friend with you, people want to keep doing it.
My mother loved animals since she was born, and she had everything from a peacock
Did she really?
to a llama.
That's awesome.
To a goat, sheep. She's had everything in the world, her whole life. Maybe more comfortable with animals than humans, if that sounds...
No, that sounds... I relate to that very, very well.
You know what to expect with animals.
I've never met a dog that I don't like. I've met a few people I don't like.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
All the believers, get out your seat. Let's raise a meter just for all the dreamers.
Welcome to another episode of East Texas Unfiltered with J. Chad Parker. I'm your host. Today, we have a guest that I think everyone who watches this podcast is going to like. Who doesn't love pets? I think everybody loves pets, and those that don't, there's probably something wrong with them. And the great part about this guest that I have today is what she does with pets also improves the mental health and the physical well-being of other people in our community. And so today I want to welcome Elysia Reineck. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. That's a great introduction. I appreciate that.
Well, I'm happy to have you and learn more about what Therapet is. So let's just start. In general, what is Therapet?
Well, Therapet was founded in 1994, so we're in our 32nd year, and we're not a part of a national organization or a state organization. We are just here in Tyler and East Texas.
That's what I was so curious about, whether this was some kind of franchise or money that got sent corporately.
No.
So this is exclusively...
Born here. Only exists here, serves here. It's really incredible because it's not unusual to see an animal-assisted therapy program in larger cities. I mean, if you go to Austin, DFW, sure, you're going to find things like this. For East Texas, even though we're growing, I know we're big, but it's an incredible blessing for the public to have this as a resource at the facilities we serve at.
And we're going to go into a lot of where you serve, but let's learn a little bit more about you. The organization, since you're just local, then how is it that you're supported? How do you operate?
We're fully donor supported, 501c3.
Every
penny
that comes
every
in,
penny.
And these are in-kind donors. These are fundraisers. These are monthly givers, or
you name it, whatever works for them. And most of the time, it's somebody that's encountered us out in the community, whether it's at a hospital, maybe a family member's in the hospital, and it's one of our nights to visit. And they stumble upon us in some way and realize the impact that we make, and then they're in for the rest of their lives. They're committed. Yeah.
Well, I know y'all end up training the animals in some way so that they're certified, so that you're sure that they'll be safe, I guess, with the people that they go to.
Yes.
Is there a cost, or do y'all have a way to, I guess, earn any income as you do that as well?
We do. We do charge a little bit for the class. So it's $125 to take a class with us. That's the first time. And then after that, we just charge $100. So it's kind of like your first time in, $125, and then thereafter it's $100. But we got to pay the trainers too. So I don't mean that like it's a moneymaker. I realize there's costs in everything, but for the person who has their own pet and really thinks about, well, I may want to become part of Therapet. Yeah.
What process or what would that look like?
Well, I often tell people if you're sitting at home and you've got a dog on the couch next to you, think about their personality. And it really is an inherent thing for a dog to have a personality, just like we as humans do. So you may have had a dog in the past that people come over and it's lots of barking, and it's not very inviting. They don't really want to interact with your guests. And then you have the opposite. You have the dogs that jump up and you've made their day. People are coming over. They want to get petted, loved on. And if you stop petting them, they're like, no, keep going. It's that personality that really just lives to meet people and be loved on. So, and ironically, neither of my dogs made it through the process. So,
it's a real process.
It really is. And you have to have some awareness of that. The dog is the one that is serving. I think a lot of times people get caught up in, I'm taking my dog to do XYZ.
Right.
No, you're the driver.
Yeah.
You're the chauffeur. You're just getting
getting the dog to the facility.
You're getting the dog there, and you're making sure all the things happen to facilitate that. But the dog is making the impact. So one of the really key parts that's fun for me to witness is humans will come in with, I guess, preconceived notions about where they want to volunteer, which one of our facilities they want to plug in at. And we encourage them, listen to your dog. Pay attention to what your dog's enjoying, what they want to do. And often it's not what the human had intended. So
they're not thinking about it right. They're thinking like, where do I want to go?
Yes.
What do I like? Really?
Yes.
And it's really, where does the dog best meet the needs of the people there?
Yes, because each environment is vastly different depending on where we are and what we're doing.
It could be some type of, I guess, somewhat passive physical therapy versus straight visitation.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now,
and there's a difference between those. Yes.
If I had to guess, old Louie is probably good at any spot.
Louie just wants to be in the limelight.
Craig, let's look at Louie.
Now, we call him King Louie.
All right, King Louie.
And he has a baby sister, so you better be ready to show her too.
Okay. Yeah, I look through, for those who are listening, you can go to the Therapet website, therapet.org.
Yes.
And there's a section that says Therapets. And if you go there, you can see all of the animals.
And their bio.
And the bio about who they are and what they're like.
Yeah.
And I've chosen a few just to
I'm excited to see who you chose.
Well, there's Louie, King Louie. And
yes.
I imagine people really probably like that dog.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Is he dedicated to a certain facility or does he move around?
He jumps in and does a lot of things, but he primarily serves at Beckville ISD for their READ program.
All right.
Now, his sister, if we end up talking about her, she's different. And that's kind of fun, too, to talk about.
She was a brown dog.
Yes.
I saw her at the bottom of the page.
Let me tell you a little secret. Her name's Coco.
Right.
Her mom's going to die when she listens to this. But, there we go. There's Coco. So guess where their names come from? Louis Vuitton and Coco Chanel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I mean, they do look fancy.
They're a little bit fancy. Yes.
Okay.
So Coco goes different places than Louis does. And a lot of times once people have a Therapet with us, then they get another dog. And if they're the right temperament, they'll train them, do all the things with us. And then that provides them two different personalities to figure out, okay, this dog actually likes this, and it's vastly different from where my other dog likes to go. So it's neat.
You mentioned Beckville ISD.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's other side of Henderson, Texas.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a program which I didn't quite catch the name.
It's a READ program. So that stands for Reading Education Assistance Dogs. It's something I'm very passionate about. There's a lot of studies behind it. And so I can get into that facet of what we do if you'd like to now.
Well, yeah, I'm just kind of curious in general what, how a dog would be helping a student, a child, learn to read better, avoid dyslexia. I'm not sure what you're about to say.
I'm about to say things.
Okay, we'll say it.
So a lot of studies have been done that kiddos, and this is a hard statistic to stomach, but kiddos that are kindergarten through third grade, if they are behind on their literacy by third grade, they don't stand a good chance of catching up. I mean, process that for a moment.
Right. I mean, it means
third grade.
Forever caught and never out of that box.
Yes. And then the consequences of that, of never being able to catch up, obviously.
Maybe no high school degree.
You nailed it.
No GED.
Maybe they never get further education. It's hard to get a job after that.
Poor self-esteem?
Oh, gosh, yes. Very low self-esteem. Simple things that we take for granted, like being able to communicate with your medical physicians for your personal health, reading prescriptions, getting a job, keeping a job, the shame of being
right. I mean,
not great at reading is tremendous. So what we do is we take in that age group at the facilities that are READ programs for us, we're taking kids in that range and we pull them out and have them read one-on-one with the dog. So I remember being in elementary school and I loved this part of reading because I love to read. It's a big passion of mine. But do you remember they'd say, okay, every kid is going to read a paragraph. Go around the room.
Right.
You read this one. Your neighbor reads this one.
That was terrifying to some students.
I loved it.
Right. I mean, like, I don't.
Yeah. I would count. I would count around the room and inevitably I would have a one-line paragraph. And now
And the
looking
voice
back,
said, "Thank you."
yeah, yeah. But looking back through an adult perspective, think about if you're a challenged reader, you're going to land on the long paragraph. It's inevitable. And you're reading in front of your peers, and you know that you're not great at it. They know.
And so
And
that
the
anxiety,
the humiliation, wanting to shy away from something you're just not good at, that's a natural human instinct.
it is.
So we're pulling those kids out, and I'll give you some statistics. Our newest read program is Brownsboro Intermediate. And we look at the first round of reading scores. And by the way, these children don't know that they're in
A program.
They don't.
They just think it's a tool that's
It's a cool reward thing, and
It's
they get to read to
calming.
the dogs.
and it's calming.
Yes.
It's more calming than another fellow student listening.
100%. So, we make sure that they don't think it's a shameful,
Embarrassing.
no.
Like, hey, that's the special ed
No,
section or
no,
something like
no,
that.
that would defeat the purpose of it. But so we're looking at that first round of reading scores, and then they kind of figure out, okay, these are the kids, making sure we get permissions and all of that. And then they come out, and every other week they spend 20 minutes with one of our read dogs. Of course, the dog's human is there with them too. And so they're kind of taking notes and helping them, because maybe if they stumble on a word, the human is there to correct them. But there's no pressure with that. There's no judgment from the dog. Half the time the dog falls asleep. And so sometimes the kiddo will say, well, Biscuit stopped listening to me. And Biscuit's mama will say, no, she's listening. Her eyes are just closed. Don't you ever just listen with your eyes closed? And they're like, okay, yeah. And they'll keep reading. So last year we looked at and analyzed the scores for the final reading test of the year, so May, and all but one of those kids improved by multiple grade levels. So it's moving,
helpful.
it's shifting it, it's moving them closer to future success for sure, and they're proud of it.
Well, it's certainly it's definitely thinking outside the box from what many educators, people have always thought. And you sound like, in addition to the experience and the skill, you have a passion for animal participation in many aspects of humans' life for many different reasons. Am I right?
Absolutely.
All right.
I firmly believe that on so many levels, we as humans just can't reach each other. There's too many roadblocks.
Animals are unconditional love.
They are. And I mean, for example, when how many times have I been into a hospital room with, visitation with patients, and, as humans, you walk into a hospital room, you're going to start having judgments. You can't help it. Maybe it smells bad, first off.
Why are you there?
But a dog can't tell your economic level, what's in your bank account. They don't care about sexual orientation. They don't care if you're red or blue.
Right.
They just don't care. All they do is sense this person needs me, and I'm about to help them. And if they smell bad, maybe that's cool, to a dog. So they go in and they're able to reach people on an emotional level and a physical level. I mean, there's a lot of science behind it, but they're able to reach them in a way that if you walked in and you said, hey, nice to meet you, I just want to do a little visit, probably wouldn't get very far with them. I don't know, you might.
But I know what you're saying. I mean, there's a different level of emotional well-being and feeling that come from just the attention of an animal.
Yes. And their intuition is remarkable. I mean, the things that they can pick up in a crowd of people, even, that person needs me. I mean, of stories about that where, we'll have people actually at the business expo, which is happening. We've got dogs over there. Last year, it's a very crowded, busy environment, and we have dogs there. One of our dogs, human said, man, she just focused on this person, and she's learned to follow her lead. And so she walked over to this gentleman, and he immediately melted to the floor and started crying. And he said he just lost his dog. She picked him out. How? I don't know. She picked him out of a crowd.
Some type of sense of some kind. Well, people don't know this. We've just learned, first of all, that this organization serves only us. That is East Texas.
Yes.
And so that would bring people to wonder about your passion. And from what you've told me, you are born and raised here in Tyler.
I'm from Tyler.
You went to
And
Robert
I
E. Lee,
came
went to
back-
Baylor.
I did. I joked, in high school, and probably a lot of people feel this way about their hometown. I'm never going to go
Never
back
coming
there.
back. There's nothing to do here.
Nothing to do here. But, a lot of doors opened and closed and led me back here kind of kicking and screaming. But I can see the why behind all of that now. And as an adult, I love Tyler.
Yeah, it's good. So let's, people probably wonder, how does a person, and who is the person, and what is their education training? How do they get to something like Therapet in the end?
Again, it's kind of just, you look back and it all makes sense. But I majored in business, focus in human resources. So get out and do the human resources thing. And nothing's ever quite like it's presented in college. You have to get real world experience to understand.
The
Wait a second. Wait, yes. You know about that. So, I just, as a naive young person, thought human resources, I'm going to help people. HR is the first line of defense for an employer,
Sure.
It's a balance. There's a lot of legalities behind it, and it is exhausting. It just wore me plumb out.
And,
so
and if society is not as honest,
no,
doesn't work as hard, that would make a human resource job, I would think, more difficult.
Very challenging. And I'm the type of personality that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it exceedingly well. And I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night thinking about the things that I can change and do better. And it gets to you. So, but
you remind me of my wife.
Really?
You just described her almost to a T.
Yeah, it's hard.
But those people are very productive at what they do.
Yes. Sometimes at your own expense,
Right.
but it's worth it. So, during my time in HR for a local hospital, I also, in my spare time, was the liaison for Therapet to come in and bring the dogs and go into the patient room. So my team of employees would be the ones to help facilitate those visits and go into the patient rooms. I never had a dog until I was 33 years old.
But who introduced you, or where did this connection come for you to liaison these dogs into the hospital you were working?
The hospital approached Therapet and said, can we get on your list? Can we be one of your partnering facilities that you regularly serve? And Therapet said yes. And that was probably in 2005 or 6.
Was that a visionary type person at the hospital that thought we should try this in Jacksonville, Texas?
It was an employee so we had already been serving ETMC, now UT, in Tyler for a while. And the North facility, UT North, is now a part of everything. But she had been at Tyler with her husband, who was in the hospital, and Therapet dropped by to visit him. And she loved dogs, and that's where the match was struck. She was like, well, can we also have it at the hospital in Jacksonville? And it worked out.
And that's where you worked at.
That's where I was.
And okay.
And so
you saw it happening, I guess, from that point forward.
Yes. And so I really had not been around dogs that much ever. And then my husband and I got married when I was 33. And then shortly after, it was like, what do you do first? You get a dog. So we got Gertrude, and she's still with us. She's about to turn 14. But the love. And I look back and I cannot believe I spent all those years without a dog in my life. I will never, if God willing, I will never not have a dog. So I fell in love with it just through the experience of watching what it does for patients to have that quick visit. They're on some of the hardest days of their lives. I mean, they're dealing with decisions that are beyond comprehension. Nobody should have to make. Maybe they're alone. Maybe they don't have a single family member in town, or family just doesn't care.
They're visiting very sparse.
Yes.
Right? They're not there very much.
Yes.
And so they're by themselves watching TV.
Yes. Maybe they have a dog at home, and of course they're missing their animal.
That would be very, that would bother me.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
you had a dog and you couldn't see it.
Well, my husband knows you have to sneak our dogs in.
Yeah.
That's just what's going to have to happen. But so you go in and you say, and the affect on people's faces when they're in a hospital bed is so similar to one another. It's just this downcast, you can see the worry. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be here. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure if I'm if I'm being taken care of. I don't know what the scans are about to tell me. I can't eat right now. I mean, think of all the worries that they're dealing with. Also, the family members, half the time the visit is for the family because the family's dealing with their own share of issues with this hospital stay. So you go in and you say, hey, we've got a surprise tonight. We've got the Therapet dogs here. Would you like a visit? Of course, some people say, no, I'm good. Cool. Have a good night. Others, the face, the demeanor, I mean, it just completely changes. There's a lightness that comes over them. It's almost like they glow a little bit. And then depending on how many dogs we have there that night, it could be anywhere from 2 to 6. They're about to get to meet these amazing animals, and the dogs love it. So they're getting to pet, and if they're small, we'll lay down a towel, and they lie down on the towel next to the patient so they can pet them. If they're a big dog, we'll put them in a chair next to the bedside, or they can pause up on the bed and get pets. So what's really cool is within moments of petting an animal, there's an automatic relaxation response. And this is proven. They've hooked people up to, blood pressure cuffs and heart rate monitors and really studied what are the physicalities of what they're enduring right now before, and then when a dog comes in and they start interacting with them, heart rate calms, blood pressure lowers, your positive hormones go up, your negative ones go down. I mean, it
helps with people's
it's a change.
Most common symptom, which is depression.
Depression and anxiety.
Right. Being in the hospital, people don't feel good. They're gloomy. Mm-hmm. They may not be clinically depressed, but they're not upbeat. And
it's not a good day.
Changes when these dogs come in, mm-hmm. right? At least for the time that they get to spend with them.
It's just a little momentary vacation or reprieve from what they're experiencing.
And I wonder if that has positive impacts on whatever needs to heal or what they're being treated for.
Well, yeah. It can.
I mean, I've read things that, state of mind, frame of mind has something to do with how you respond to illness and injury.
You're right. The mental affects the physical affects the mental. It's so intertangled. But just with procedures being done, we've seen remarkable things. Like there was one night we were at an emergency room, we just kind of dropped by, depending on what's going on with the rest of the floor. So we dropped by an ER, and there's a child who is diabetic, having to get stuck for the millionth time, does not want the needle. It's just like dead focused on the arm. And we brought a dog in and shift the perspective to this side of the body. Nurse gets it in. Kid didn't even realize it. And then the parent later ran into that same volunteer. I don't know if it was a couple months later. And she said, all of a sudden, there's just a difference. The needles were always the bad thing, the IVs, all the things. And ever since that, there's just an awareness with the child that that's okay, I can do this. But a lot of it's smoke and mirrors and just kind of shifting the perspective sometimes. But how cool is that for a mom to get to see a kid, be treated and improve on that level just because a dog got to come and shift the focus.
Well, we all, those that have kids know that story at some point. A shot, the needle, the blood draw. And, it's very uncomfortable for the parent. And,
sure.
That's just another non-traditional remedy, mm-hmm. if you will, mm-hmm. That probably needs to be more available if mm-hmm. it can be.
Yes.
Right? And
yes.
It's not as easy as just getting some dogs and someone and going to a facility, which is kind of what we're going to talk about here in a second.
Yeah.
Your program, and you get there, as I understand from talking to you, right at or before COVID to Therapet.
I did, right. Yes. So March of 2020. Right. Nothing was going on.
You're hired as the CEO.
ED, Executive Director, yes.
Now, are you, okay, you're...
CEO sounds very fancy.
I know. Some of them call each other CEOs. Some of them don't, Okay, Executive Director. Yeah. There you are.
I get hired, and it was I was ready for a career change, and it was such a perfect transition because of what we already talked about, just my passion and getting to witness what we do. I already believed in it, and that's so much. You cannot work for a nonprofit if you don't believe in it.
In the
1,000%.
cause, right.
And I do. So I start, and I think it was truly 10 days later that we get the lockdown notice. Right. And okay, well, think about how that affected us. Our clients are hospitals.
They're all in facilities.
Schools. I mean, everything just came to a big pause. And it's like, okay, well, we've got to keep fundraising. And our community here in Tyler is so generous. People were ready to jump in and help. So what could have been a very scary time, and it was, it just worked out perfectly because of people's generosity. And we pivoted and we were creative with different fundraising efforts. But and so then as things changed, I believe it was Christus Hospital was one of the first that we were like, okay, we can come back in, but these are the requirements for our volunteers. And every facility that we serve, there's 14, had different requirements for our volunteers. And so that's hard because every volunteer has their own free will and what they're willing to do.
Right.
Some facilities required vaccination, others didn't. Some required masks and face shields. Well, when we started that, we realized, well, that's a challenge. You've now got a mask on and a face shield, and the biggest responsibility you have.
I would have been out.
I know. Well,
I would have been out on Therapet at that point.
A lot of people did, and that was hard because I could see forward that there was going to be, we were going to come out of it.
Of course.
But it was just that we're having to follow the requirements.
It was just very difficult. Okay.
It was. So we pivoted and we're like, okay, well, now you can't see your dog. That's your whole responsibility. And so we added that to our skills check off to make sure how are dogs adjusting with masks. They were fine, but we just didn't know. So we added that to our skills check off. And then one by one, as we kind of came through that season, our facilities said, come back. And now we're crazy busier than ever.
You're lucky that your organization was in Smith County, Texas.
I know.
Because if you had been somewhere else, the limited options, and we look back and we say, for what, right? I mean, how was it any different for us than it was some other place? And it really wasn't, but at least our people here were able to experience the positive benefits of the animals much sooner, right?
I would think so for sure.
I mean,
and ironically, that was a time when people needed us more than ever, and we felt
because they were alone.
We felt a little bit paralyzed, like we've got a resource here, and there's only so much we can do with it.
How many animals, when you take the helm, okay?
This is a good question.
How many animals do we have at Therapet to go out and serve the community?
When I came in, I think it was at 96.
All right. So we got less now.
So after COVID, after it really kind of calmed down, we had about 68.
All right. Because it's
not the dog. It's the human that's
right. It's the driver.
It's the driver.
It's the person with the personality that doesn't like certain things, that gets upset about this, that, or the other, right? And old Louie's at home saying, hey, why can't I go to Therapet?
Louie's ready all the time. So it was. And I understood some of our volunteers are older and have health challenges, that it was a scary time.
It was probably scary for them, right?
It was terrifying. And you don't know what you don't know. And so, do you want to go to the hospital and see people?
No, that's where all the sick people are. I don't want to go there.
Yeah. It had inherent challenges that, we just had to kind of baby step through. But it worked out. It's just that the numbers dropped significantly.
It's okay.
And so
you're building back.
Our big thing is we've got to get more dogs. And unfortunately, we go into every year knowing we're going to lose more. They're either going to get old, and it's time for them to just hang out at home.
They age out.
And be an old dog. There's not a retirement age.
Right. But just the physical moving around.
The parent's going to start looking at their hips. Maybe it's hard for them to walk on those slick hospital floors. And is there a place to plug in with us that looks a little different? A lot of times there is, but then we lost, a lot of them passed away last year, just random cancers and things like that. And so every year there's loss, and it is devastating. That's one thing I could not have prepared for with this, is I fall in love
with all of them,
with every single one of them.
That's tough.
And when their humans call me, I've had the privilege of being able to go, and I'm not going to cry, but go say goodbye to some of them.
Yeah, no, I didn't even want to see. My wife took our dog.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person who likes to pretend that, maybe they just went somewhere else, because I don't think I could be there, honestly.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine a family of dogs where some of them are dropping out each year. But, let's talk about support for Therapet. Now, people can go, if they like what they're hearing and they can't bring you a pet,
Yeah.
but they can go to the website and they can go to therapet.org and they can donate, and that money helps you guys, build this organization, right?
Yes.
Now, we just talked about losing dogs.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that Therapet wants more people with dogs.
We do.
And so
We do.
you tell them, if somebody's listening and they thought, you know what, I've often wanted to volunteer like that with my dog. You let them know right this minute what they should do next.
Okay. Well, first off, call us, 903-535-2125. We would love to talk to you, and we'd love to meet your dog. Go into it with an awareness that not all dogs are supposed to do this, but you will never regret taking a class with your dog. It's a bonding experience. You will grow as a team, even if it doesn't work out. Like I said, neither of mine made it through. We're skills class dropouts, both of us. So there's a couple of different classes we offer, but the formal process is you've got to have your Canine Good Citizen certificate. So we say CGC is what that stands for. It's an AKC standard. So if you're curious about what that entails, you can go to akc.org, search CGC in their engine, and it's going to pull up what it is. But
this AKC and this CGC, what do they stand for people that don't know anything about the dog world?
Okay, so American Kennel Club, right. I know you've seen the dog shows on TV.
I know that now that you said it.
AKC, and I mean, it's a huge organization and, different breeds and stuff. So then CGC is Canine Good Citizen. That is a certification that is an AKC standard. So lots of facilities in this area. We recommend PetSmart because our two trainers happen to be PetSmart trainers. And so it's a very fluid conversation. If you go in to start your classes, CGC requires typically, if you got them as a puppy, go take puppy class, beginner, intermediate, advanced.
These classes are at PetSmart. And so when you said earlier $125, you're paying someone there for each of the classes.
Yes, and their classes are a little bit higher than ours.
All right. And how many total do you need, or how long does it take for your pet to be ready to go?
It's totally variable. So I will say, going through the CGC process with our two dogs, I mean, we were committed. And I was going to do that regardless.
And you're a good candidate. So if yours didn't make it, I mean, that's something wrong with the dog.
Yes.
You're
my baby, so. But
that's what my mom would say about me. Chad just doesn't have the right temperament.
He's just not right for this. Yeah. I'm sure she said that a few times. But yeah, so it's just a cool thing to go in and take. And I think it's important because it shows the dog how you're supposed to behave in public. So if you're planning to go to restaurant patios and eat with your dog and just make sure they're a well-behaved member of society, getting the CGC makes sense. Why wouldn't you? I always laugh. Would you have a baby or adopt a toddler and think that you never have to offer it any training or guidance? But people get dogs and they're like, well, it's not doing what I thought it was going to do. It's a creature. It's intelligent. You've got to teach it.
That's a misconception, I think. I think
it
people,
is.
I mean, even me, I'm thinking, well, this dog is just good.
Why isn't it potty trained?
That dog will just sit there and by the table while I'm at the outdoor patio, and he's good.
Probably not.
And this one's bad.
But it's not a bad dog. It's an untrained dog.
I'm too soft-hearted. I always think about obedience training as being something harsh and harmful and scary for the dog and isolating. And I was like, oh.
No, they have a blast. It's treat-driven. I mean, you offer a treat to a dog, and we always used high-value treats. So you chop up some hot dogs, something that they don't get on a regular day, or some grilled chicken or something like that, rotisserie chicken. They will do anything you ask them to do if it's a high-value treat like that. And so we would always bring hot dogs or something like that into our PetSmart classes for our CGC dogs. So we only took each of those once. I mean, we graduated, but we worked hard with them. And I remember every night we would leave class. I think it's a 7-week class there. I would turn to my husband and say, ain't no way we're going to get this dog to do.
What was it? What is it that really separates the ones that make it from the good dogs that are obedient that don't make it?
CGC is really not complicated, Canine Good Citizen requirements. So the very last night of the advanced class there, you take the CGC test. Okay.
Is that you, the human, or you, the dog?
Both of you.
Okay.
Both of you.
What's the human doing? What's the dog's doing?
So a lot of it is, there will be a sit, just teaching a dog to sit on command, down, stay, being able to walk away from that dog 30 feet. in a crowded environment
Throw a
and
ball
say,
and tell him to stay.
Yeah, stay. And if you give them treats and train them, they will do it. It's amazing. And then out of sight stay is, I think, the thing that scares the most people.
You walk around the corner?
So, yeah, you have to, and this is, it makes sense. If you're somewhere and let's say you've got to go to the restroom and it's a busy environment.
Out of sight.
And you say, hey, bud, your friend's with you. Hey, Joe, can you watch my dog while I go to the restroom? You need to be able to know that you can say, give the command, hand the leash, stay, and the dog's going to stay and it's just a 3-minute. That 3 minutes when you're doing that test feels like 30, but they do it. I mean, it's the coolest thing.
Well, I can tell you're a big fan of this. And what I hear you saying that we haven't said out loud is that a lot of people who have pets that they love should take them to this anyway.
They should. You're getting it.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you? Go have an experience with your dog. They want to learn. They're smart. They're little sponges. And I promise you, you'll be amazed at the things you can teach them to do. And if you're not interested in CGC, there's trick classes there. If you just want to have fun and not work on obedience so much, there's a ton of different
But it's something
there
to do with your dog.
Yes.
Making your dog, maybe a little more disciplined.
Yes.
And at the same time, if you were interested in being a Therapet animal, you're that's
the first step.
You can get past that and then decide if your dog, I guess, is able to pass the temperament.
Get the CGC. Get the CGC. And what's cool there with the two trainers is you can say, I know about Therapet. I'm kind of curious if my dog could do it. And so they're going to watch and they're going to kind of help facilitate that. And they may be blunt and say, your dog does not. Just stop. Don't go to the next leg of things. But so in answer to your question, when they get their CGC certificate, that now qualifies them to come take the formal Therapet skills class. We are not teaching obedience in that class. We need you to already have that down.
Okay.
So when they come into the Therapet skills class, we're going to start introducing therapy equipment, hospital equipment. When you walk into a hospital room, there's a lot of IVs and different machines, noises, things that you don't blink at.
Is this environmental that you're conditioning the animals for?
You're introducing all of those
the things that they're going to be around?
Yes.
It's not per se the animal-assisted therapy.
So that's a part of it. So we have a rehab table in that class, an actual rehab table like we use at Encompass Health. And so Monday through Friday, 3 hours a day, we're at Encompass Health, helping with physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech pathology. We can get into all that too. But so the dog has to be able to get up on that table, settle, relax. And then part of that is they're going to bring patients in there to work on just their mobility, their tactile, just maybe they've had a stroke and they're needing to do
rehab hospitals.
Rehab. It is a rehab hospital, Encompass Health.
Okay.
So, you may think, getting my dog to get up on a table is no big deal. Oh, no, it is. You have to train them to do that. It can be a scary thing. Now, some dogs
now,
are
if
like...
it was a bed, you wouldn't have to train them.
No,
because you can't
exactly
keep them
right.
from jumping up on and trying to sleep with you.
You're exactly right. But something about that table and kind of going up the steps and learning how to be safe and get them to settle and just relax into it, you have to train that. And then getting into tight spaces next to a hospital bed, they've got to be able to back. So training them to back up because they may not have room to turn around and exit. That's just a couple of examples. How to walk very slowly next to a walker or a wheelchair when they're at Encompass Health. That's not
because the people are moving slower than a normal walk.
So slow, and it's a weird device next to them, a walker, clunk, clunk, and they have to go really slow next to them. So those little things that may not seem like a big deal, you've got to get the dog in the groove of it. So it's not unusual to have to take more than one round of skills class with us. Somebody told me that the first night I took Gertrude in, and it calmed my nerves because I thought, I'm a test taker. I'm going to do it and get it done the first time. But I was worried in the back of my head, what if I fail?
You or your dog?
Mostly me.
Okay. Well, how can you fail?
Well, a lot of times the human is the roadblock with the dog. You've got to make sure that, my dogs will do anything I ask them to do, but it may be with some hesitancy. And that's a leadership issue on my part with the dogs because they're my babies and I baby talk them. Now, my husband can give the same command. It's different. They respond immediately. So
I think it's just I think it's the stern voice,
It could be.
right? Like,
It could be.
I mean, a stern voice goes a long way. It seems like with a dog.
Well, I know with my experience with ours, like, I mean, this is so random, but I opened the back door one night. I heard a ruckus, and Gertrude was just standing there proud with an armadillo in her mouth. And I lost my mind screaming. And Ryan jumps up, and I was saying, leave it, drop it, leave it, drop it. All the commands she knows. She's just like, what? Ryan gets up, and he says, drop it once. And she was like, bloop.
Because there might be a lot of diseases or something with the armadillo.
Yes. Yeah.
And sometimes the sternness is not meant to be punishment, but it's danger.
It's for their safety.
There's a car coming.
Yes. Yes.
Something like that.
And that makes me think too, the leave it command, you walk into a hospital room, there's a lot of smells, and there could be food on the floor. There could be pills on the floor.
Golly, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. And so
they would go up there and eat them.
They have to follow the leave it command. And it's for their protection. They're not supposed to lick. If they lick a patient, well, they could be on a lot of medications. They probably are. Some of that can leach out of their skin. So a lot of health things that just aren't thought about until you're in the weeds of it.
Well, that sounds like you guys, I mean, y'all thought of almost everything. And what I want to pivot back to the visitation for just a moment. You've mentioned 14 institutions, facilities that y'all go into. What are those 14 places that you take these dogs?
Yeah, so they're pretty different categories. So I'll talk about healthcare first.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to mention every single one if some of them are all the same.
So healthcare is definitely a huge facet, and I would say that's the foundation and will always be the foundation of what we do. We are a facet of patient care.
Do the hospitals donate? Do they support Therapet at all?
Yes, they do support us in different ways, like with our Gala that we're going to talk about. So they sponsor that, but we are not paid for our work by any of the facilities that we visit.
Okay.
It's fully donor supported.
Right. You don't have insurance money. You don't have hospital or institutions paying you to come. This is solely you guys raising your own money, training your own animals, and then making a decision on where to go with them?
Yes. So we have a long waiting list, too.
I was about to say, can you meet the need that exists right now?
Not right now, no. My big belief, just kind of getting through COVID and the loss of so many animals and just building back up, we're at about 72 right now. What
about the cockatoo?
Oh, well, Cuddles is amazing.
I mean, do you really have a cockatoo?
We do. She's incredible. You've got to meet her. I need to get her over here.
That's different training, though, than a dog.
Yes, and it's unusual. If you're sitting at home and you have a bird, please just don't. Calm down. Don't call me.
Hamsters, guinea pigs.
I'm not equipped to handle that right now. I'm not equipped to handle that. We do have a cat, and we have an umbrella cockatoo. Cuddles is the cockatoo. She's 21 years old. And
I guess they have long lifespans?
Very long. In fact, don't just randomly get a bird, because a lot of times
50 years?
It could live longer than you at this point, depending on your age. So it's not a little quick decision you need to make.
Don't worry. I'm not making any rash decisions on animals.
Your wife's going to be like, where'd this bird come from?
I mean, we lost our dog, in the last 6 months. And, I always battle with, they become so part of the family. I mean, my dog, Blackie, she came here every day to work.
I think I met her last year.
You did?
I did.
She went everywhere we traveled. But, you always say, well, when she's gone, I just don't know, if I want to, because they're a lot of work at the end of their life, right? I mean, it's a shame that people just jump off and get dogs and then don't take care of them and drop them on the side of the road or do whatever they do, right? Do
not get me started.
I know.
Yeah. But ironically, or maybe not ironically, but well over half of our dogs are rescues.
Right. I mean, I assume that without asking.
Yeah. No, that's a great lead into it. So, I mean, we even get calls sometimes, just people saying, I really, really want to get involved with you guys. I'm going to go get a dog soon. What breed should I get? And I always say, you don't need to worry about breeds. It's a temperament thing. And you can't predict that, but go check out the local rescues here. They probably have the dog for you. Is it meant to be a Therapet? We can't know. But if you go in with the intention of, I'm going to get this breed, I'm going to make it be.
That's the owner again thinking of themselves instead of the pet for Therapets, right?
Yes.
Because my dog was a stray
Mm-hmm.
and probably could have glided right into Therapet. She never growled in her life.
She loved people.
She had, it was
lived to be petted.
It was just the nicest dog I think I'd ever seen on accident. And I did nothing. And there was no training.
Yeah. You lucked out.
I think the stray just felt thankful.
Well, I do believe that.
Just to be in a home instead of running the woods, which she probably did when we found her.
Or untold things that happened before
she was she would cower over the smallest things. I mean, for instance, if somebody had something out, it wouldn't be threatening, but she would see it as threatening.
Yeah.
I mean, of several things, but that's, where are the Therapet dogs? Are they more likely at a rescue or at a pound or at the SPCA or wherever they are?
Could be at any of those.
I mean,
they are covered up in dogs that just need a chance. And then, I think a lot of times people not only just getting a puppy and thinking, well, why isn't it potty trained? Why isn't it this? Well, would you bring a 3-year-old in the house and not have a diaper on it? Probably not.
No, but I wouldn't know how to potty train a dog, I don't think.
Well, you can crate train them and it's doable.
I'd have to YouTube it.
You can do that. You know about successful YouTube channels.
But, like I said, I just thought maybe they just kind of became potty trained over time.
They do not, Chad. They do not. You have to train them.
All right.
So there's just, I don't know. I really think that you don't need to worry about breeding so much.
Yeah, who cares? They all look cool in a different way.
They do. I love their originality and their different personalities, and they're going to be able to serve how they're supposed to serve if they make it through.
Chris, put up Pepper and Waver.
Oh.
Let's go back to back because these remind me of rescue type dogs. Okay, I don't know if that's true.
Pepper's a rescue.
I look at that dog and I say, I bet you that dog was in some bad circumstances and then somehow got out of it.
Pepper's a rescue. And Pepper is actually one of our founding volunteers, Therapets. So we still have 32 years later, 3 of our founding volunteers are still plugged in. And
that is the human.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about?
Not the dog, I wish, but yes, the human.
Waverly. Do we have? Okay.
Waverly.
See, some people,
Sweet
depending
boxer.
on the temperament of these dogs, they seem scary to people sometimes when you look at them, right? If they were growling, you would say that one and Pepper looked like a junkyard dog or something, right?
I just can't even envision that description because I know these dogs so well.
I know, but some people, when you see them behind a chain link fence and they're barking, you're like, I hope he doesn't get loose.
Yeah.
But
okay, think about this too. When they're working, and our humans will tell you through our grooming process that's required, they have to be bathed and nails trimmed, all of those requirements within 36 hours of volunteering somewhere with us. And many of them will say, when it's bath time, they get in the zone. They
like it.
I'm about to get to go see people. My parents about to take
the bath
me. Yes.
With going
or
out.
Some have said that when they pull their Therapet volunteer T-shirt out, the dog's like, oh my gosh, it's about to happen.
So I guess they enjoy that.
They learn your rhythms and your patterns. I mean, think about your dog.
Oh my God.
She knew your patterns and your habits.
There's one for sure. Every single time. Every time we got out a suitcase. She would not.
Watch out.
She would get by the door. She would make sure there's no way that we were leaving, and she wasn't going. We couldn't even sneak a bag out. We almost felt bad.
Sorry, you're not going to Fiji.
If we went to a
stay
vacation,
home.
we felt terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I didn't like because I could never go anywhere.
I feel that deeply.
But
it's hard.
They're like a seasoning for life. They make everything a lot better.
They do. They improve everything on every level. They do. But when they're at home, they're just dogs. I think people think, well, my dog couldn't do this. My dog has this, and this trait. Well, they're at home. They're just a pet. They're going to have their own zone and things that they do there. But through the training process, through the getting ready process, they do learn that habit. And then they get pumped to get to go see people.
Just the more we talk, the more ideas, the more questions come into my head. Is there any intersection between people that generally rescue dogs, in volume or more than just one, and trying to become Therapets? Or is that an introduction that needs to be made on this show?
I think it's, people need to think about it more. That don't try to pigeonhole your dog based on what you think it went through in its life prior to you. I think what dogs experience can make them much more intuitive to be able to reach people going forward. Some dogs are so traumatized by what they've been through, that's not a good idea.
But what about the training?
Yeah.
For a dog that's been traumatized, the courses that we talked about earlier, would those be helpful or would those be harmful in a way? I mean, what do you think?
I think it depends on the dog, but it's not, I would lean toward just personally giving it a shot because, let's say you get the dog into part of the track for CGC training and the dog's just stressed and it's not working. Okay, we'll do a private class. Do one-on-one with the trainer.
But it's treat-based, so it should be pleasant.
Yeah. But,
You're getting a treat all the time.
It depends, though. Think about it. Sometimes you've had such a bad day that any treat's not going to really fix it. So I think it depends on the dog.
All right. So there's no dog in particular, breed or otherwise, that you say, hey, this is the standard Therapet that always has the right temperament that always ends up working with us.
No.
All right. So, but there's got to be a more, I guess, a vaguer description of those that generally become Therapets. Is there a way for you to articulate a description of who those are?
I think it's truly, think about when you have guests over, because that's their environment. And if they're welcoming people in to, oh my gosh, come into my house.
Extroverts.
They're extroverts. Yeah. I'm thinking about several of our dogs right now who, they are persistent.
Social butterflies.
In getting pets.
They love to go around.
They're gonna look at you if you stop petting and lean back in. Okay, you've got a hand. Keep doing this. Don't stop. And that they relax into it. They soak into that moment of interacting with a human. If you've got a dog like that.
I know. I've got to insert this right now, but
okay.
I know my mother will be watching this.
Yeah.
And I know that Buddy.
Hi, Jay Chad's mom.
I know that Buddy would probably be an awesome Therapet. And Buddy was a stray that she took in that wouldn't come to us for months, only lurked about. And stayed out and never would come up. Yeah. And then eventually started coming up.
Baby steps of trust.
Wouldn't even let anybody but my mother touch him. And then now he comes up to me and I pet him. He stopped petting. He does exactly what you just said. So I guess that's the kind of dog you think about. And it had been probably traumatized.
Decent chance. You just have to think, well, you're kind of in that circle of his, so
that's safe.
Yeah. And would a stranger coming in have the same experience?
Right.
So
that's what you'd have to see.
Yeah.
Because, I know me, and I'm assuming dogs could be similar. I'm good in a lot of situations, but sometimes under a stressful situation, I'm not as good as I'd like to be.
I am the same. Imagine that.
And I've seen people that are in the same stressful situation much better than me.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining that this is kind of what you're looking for the temperament of some of these Therapets, right? Because there could be something, unseen that happens while they're in the environment, right?
Yes.
A loud noise.
That you're on the right track. So let me give the example of we visit Boshears, which is a part of TISD, special needs environment. A lot of these children are severely challenged.
They could grab them and,
They do.
Right?
Yes.
And that could be
your
startling.
Dog, that is a part of temperament. Your dog has to be able to roll with that.
Right.
Now,
without biting them.
Yeah. The human is there to make sure nothing like that escalates. But I've heard our volunteers say before, when something like that happens, or if the child throws something down really loud next to the dog's head and it's jarring,
right,
the dog will just look to their human and be like, am I okay? It's that relationship. Are we good? Humans reassuring them they're good. So those are challenges that happen in that environment every week. that we're there. So the dog has to be able to handle it.
And that's the reason. If people have tried or heard about it, if they say, well, it's frustratingly difficult to get a dog, I want to serve, but there are reasons, real world reasons why that has to be done.
100%.
Right?
100%.
And is there any liability insurance behind this stuff?
Yes.
That, you worry about or have
that's one of our expenses.
Yeah.
We have, any business does, but we have to have special insurance to make sure that we're protecting ourselves just on the off chance that something escalates.
Well, I would help you if that happened. I will say that I would come to the other side. I would come to the defense side for only this one time.
Just once.
I
appreciate that.
In Texas, they have this, it's generally referred to as the one bite rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
It basically means, if your dog, showed dangerous propensities or bit somebody before, then you're kind of on notice.
Yeah.
I would think that you guys would be solely insulated from this because of the training and the process and going out to these places where it's never happened before. I would think you would have almost a complete 100% defense against that worry.
We have so many steps in place to make sure that we're in the right lane, that we're doing what we need to do, that the dogs are vaccinated, trained. We do skills checkoffs annually. So once you're in, it doesn't mean we never see you again. You just go volunteer. We're doing annual skills checkoffs to make sure those skills are still intact and that nothing's changed.
Where does this all take place, Elysia? Well, you say, we're doing this, we're doing that,
we're doing all the things.
I mean, I've seen you at a strip center over here on Amherst.
That's where we were. We're not there anymore.
No, I didn't. It looked like the place had vacated.
It has. So we've had some changes. We're in a very exciting season of growth. So we had rented for years. Therapet's had slow growth, which I think is healthy. So did not hire. It was fully volunteer run until about 2012. That's when they hired their very first employee, operations. 2015, so 3 years later, another leap of faith, hired an ED. And then in 23, we added our third employee, a marketing and development director. So slow growth.
That's what you have now, 3?
We have 2.5, yeah.
Okay, 2.5 for the people that wonder about, charity scores, 4-star charity, how they handle the money that's given to them.
If you go to the Candid website, that's a great place to go search nonprofits and just see how they score. We're platinum, which is the highest. So it just means we're doing all the things that we're supposed to do to make sure we're wise with our resources. So we were renting from this space on Amherst from 2015 until November, but we just closed on a building yesterday.
Well, that's got to be exciting. I don't know that it matters how big the building is. I'm just curious.
It does matter, though.
What happens in the building?
Yeah.
Why would you need a different place or more space?
You're so good. That's
what I told my wife, and she doesn't always.
No, she didn't agree.
She doesn't even watch my shows, I don't think.
She has to keep you humble.
That's
it's
it.
Okay.
All right.
But so that space that we were in was about 2,600 square foot and included our training space. And so we don't have more than 8 dogs in a class, but sometimes the class is full of big dogs, others it's mixed, and but we were just out of space. The things that we're having the dogs do in the class, we just need more space. It was about a 1,500 square foot training space within the 2,600. So this building is 5,000 square feet, and it's very unique. The whole exterior is offices, and then the entire center is just an open
It's perfect
space.
Right?
It really is on so many levels.
I can tell the first time you told me about it, I could tell that you felt like you'd found something that was meant to be for Therapet.
And we have looked and looked and looked. I mean, it's been an exhausting process of, do we want to build? What is this piece of land? Is it conducive to what we would need? Looking at this building, could we transform it? I mean, it's been one thing after another. And then, this one, there just weren't any doors slamming. A hurdle isn't a door slamming,
Right.
It's just a challenge. And so any building or facility or period of growth like this is going to have challenges, but it's move-in ready. So I'm planning within the next 30 days for us to be in there, and now we can transition to classes in that open space and just have more room for the dogs to maneuver. We can have, prior to that, on our Amherst address, the hospital room space and the rehab table space was a part of that main training. We've got enough rooms that we can have a dedicated hospital room where we can outfit it exactly like a hospital room and have the anti-bac on the wall walk-in, anti-bac, do the bedside visitation with the bed that we'll have in there, curtains, noises, things like that they would encounter, and then they come out of the hospital room.
I mean, simply put, it's just going to be more conducive to more efficient training for the animals.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
we only are as good as the dogs that we have. And I'm not intent on adding a bunch of facilities from our waiting list to our active list until we know that until we have more dogs, because we're committed to serve those 14 facilities the best we can and be dependent.
Do you just stay with those 14?
Mm-hmm. We do events and stuff too. So we do take event requests and special requests.
All right. I want to know about that because it sounds like your program is in demand for the 14 facilities and pretty much locked in, right?
We stay busy.
So the only other thing would be an event if someone wanted to have something that was not regularly scheduled.
Yes. So example, Friday before last, we did a night to shine, which is special needs prom. And had some dogs there.
Was that for kids?
Yeah.
That were in high school?
Yeah.
That had special needs?
Mm-hmm. And so we had dogs there and Coco was there.
As part of the
just
prom
as the
itself.
fun night. Yeah. Just to get loved on. Royal Family Kids Camp, you may have heard of that. It's coming up, I think, in June. And so we always get asked by them and we're happy to go. So that's a week where foster kids are brought in to go experience camp. They don't know anybody. It's a lot of challenges. They don't know
anybody, do they?
Yeah, it's just, I hated camp.
It's part of the ugliness of the world that, you don't like to focus on because it's not pleasant. But
yeah, but
you're helping.
But Royal Family Kids Camp is an incredible week for the kids, and so much can happen in 1 week. But we have dogs there to greet them the first day, and then when they finish the last day, we have dogs there too to kind of bookend the week.
Yes.
So those are just a couple of examples of the event requests that we do, and we have a form on the website, and so we just ask that people fill it out, submit it, and then I have to review it, look at our calendar, and just see does this work.
And when you consider them, the two that you've told me about seem to be really more service for people who are less fortunate or maybe need some kind of bridge between something new and what environment they're going in. It's not like me calling up saying, hey, I'm throwing a big party at my house and I'd like to have a few dogs over at the party.
I'm glad you said that. I'm sure.
Because all these people would start calling if I did not clarify that.
Thank you for doing that. It's not a party. Although I know Louie and Coco would love to go to a party.
Or somebody's birthday party. You can see people that have money. They would probably say, hey, can we get a bunch of dogs over here at my daughter's 5th birthday?
Yeah. But these animals and their humans have spent so much time with their training. This isn't just a fun, no,
it's serious.
It's
like they go out to accomplish a mission, which is to improve somebody's life in the moment.
Yes, it is goal-oriented on a lot of levels. And so, we go to Skyview Prison every other month down in Cherokee County, and it is also a goal-based visit. So we see anywhere between probably 120, 150 inmates during that visit. And they have to earn that visit. There's a long list of things that if they're not checking that box, even the morning of the visit, if they screw up.
What facility is this?
Skyview Prison, down in Rusk.
Okay, it's a prison, not a mental health.
It's mental health.
Okay,
yeah, but it is a prison, and so it's goal based. You've got to check these boxes.
The prisoners, it's goal based.
Yeah, and so if they mess up even the day of, they don't get to go see the dogs.
Right.
I'm gonna do what it takes to see the dogs.
Yeah, I mean, again, that it's universal how uplifting animals are.
Yes.
Otherwise, people that were incarcerated might say, "Well, I don't care about seeing those dogs."
No, but we had a gentleman a few months ago that when the first dog got to visit him, it might have been Pepper. Can't remember, but Pepper does like to go to Skyview. So he just tears. I mean, he fell apart and he said, I haven't touched a dog in 15 years. And dogs were a part of my life up until I messed up.
Yeah.
So, things like that. But then at Encompass Health, absolutely goal-driven treatment sessions. Maybe somebody's had, I give the example, maybe you've had stroke, arm surgery, whatever, and your PT says, I can't do it while I'm sitting here, but they say maybe do 10 rotations.
And people at these places don't want to do the therapy that they're asked to do.
You know why? Because it hurts.
Right. And they just don't want to do it. And it's just easier to be like they are. And so these animals seem to be helpful in getting them to even make the smallest of motions.
Yes.
That are leading to better
ultimately healing and discharge from the hospital, right. Which is the goal.
Which is the goal of the rehab hospital, because I've been in there with my mother. They are trying to get you out.
Yes. They want to get you back on your feet and back home. Everybody wants that.
And out of that bed.
Especially your mom.
Out of that bed, because Medicare won't pay for more than X dollars.
There's a lot of complications. But yeah, you say, okay, well, PT wants me to do 10 rotations with my arm. Well, it hurts. They might get 1 or 2 out. But if we put a dog at the end of the hallway and give the patient a ball, it's the same motion, and they will do it 100% of the time. They're going to meet their goal.
We're going to end later on the fundraising, because we're going to talk about the capital campaign. We're going to talk about the new building. But what I want to know is, people know thus far that they can go to therapet.org and donate to help if they can't do anything else. Mm-hmm. We've talked about the dog and maybe their dog being a candidate and what can be done. Mm-hmm. What about general volunteers? Does Therapet have the need for just general volunteers, that people that love animals?
We do.
Tell us what that is.
Volunteers Without Animals, there's a place to plug in. It's a little bit challenging because you have to experiment a little bit. And I was talking to a new person this week. It's like, you're going to have to kind of do some trial and error. You're welcome. We've got 8 committees. So there's a place to plug in on a committee level and help. And then for example, when we go to UT Health for visitation, hospital visitation, there's so many moving parts to that visit. We've got to have clean linens that we take in, put down on the hospital bed. So there's a barrier between the patient's linens and the dog.
Because people forget. We get to talking and we look at these pictures of cute old Louie and Coco, and we never think about hygiene in a hospital.
Yeah.
And that seems to be something that has to be thought about.
It's huge. So the sanitization process, anti-bac, this sounds like overkill a little bit, but this is hospital policy. You've got it when you go into a patient room, you hit the scrub in, get in, have the visit. When you walk out, you've got to do it again, even though you're about to walk into another patient room and do it in that room. So it's
tedious.
It is. It's part of it, though, and it's all for the protection and benefit of the patient. That's why we're there.
The humans have to be of the right temperament.
You are right.
Just listening to you so far, I could see my dog being great and me being the problem.
That can be the case. It has been the case before.
I'm like, oh man, I can't stand these rules. But you got to set your own feelings aside because it's for the people that are there.
You do. It is. Our volunteers are the most giving, compassionate, selfless people.
Yeah,
the work that they put in to get their dogs ready to go somewhere behind the scenes, nobody ever sees that.
It takes time.
And then the drive. They're leaving work. They're stressed. Oh, I've got to rush home, get my dog, go to this next thing. But they have a passion for it, and they've seen the results, and they believe in it. So it keeps them going. And then once they have a dog, they're like, well, I got to get my next dog. So a lot of our volunteers have more than one dog with us.
Okay. A misconception might be that these are older, retired people that are the humans instead of people with jobs and lives that are actually sacrificing their time to help other people.
I think it's a wonderful place to plug in as a retiree. We'll keep you busy and you'll have a blast with your dog. But I'm thinking of one volunteer in particular. She's PhD level, crazy busy with her career, very talented with what she does. And she's one of our most active people because she believes in it. And she says she loves to go to UT Health for patient visitation. She says, this is my therapy. I'm getting to get out and see people that are less fortunate.
It's better to give than to receive. Didn't we always learn that?
I think we've heard that before.
As a kid?
Yes.
Hey, your parents, your Sunday school teacher, whatever, always said it's better to give than to receive.
Yes.
And it sounds like that people that experience this actually are confirming that that's true to them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You cannot feel sorry for yourself.
When you look around at other people and compare that to what you have,
you can't. You just...
And this is not financial, it's physical well-being and mental well-being that you guys are looking at.
Absolutely. I mean, think about, we go to East Texas Crisis Center. That's one of our facilities.
People that have been abused.
They are obviously seeking shelter. And
these are mostly women with kids.
Mostly women and often with kids. And they may have had to leave a dog at home.
Yeah, I mean, there's terrible choices you don't even think about. No, when life is ugly.
Can't fathom. And then, so we come in for our visits there, and it's just a chance for them to be like, oh my gosh, dog's here. Kind of feels like home for a second.
I guess that's why people have more than one dog, because when they get into it, they kind of, it's easier. They know how to do it again, and they see all the people, and they're getting this personal benefit from it. And it's almost like it's
an addiction.
It's relaxation. It's calming. It's meditation. It's prayer. It's everything all wound up together.
It is. It's like an addiction to good deeds. Once you witness the magic of it, and that you get to bring your best friend with you, people want to keep doing it. They do.
Well, I mean, you're such a good ambassador for this group, and other than just a donation in the past, I knew very little about it, other than my mother loved animals since she was born, and she had everything from a peacock
she really?
To a llama.
That's awesome.
To a goat, sheep. She's had everything in the world, her whole life. She's always been maybe more comfortable with animals than humans, if that sounds...
No, that sounds... I relate to that very, very well.
I mean, you know what to expect with animals.
I've never met a dog that I don't like, but I've met a few people I don't like.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying some people, some of us, they're just more, animals are more pleasant. And then, the ugly side, can you imagine people that intentionally harm animals?
Oh.
I mean, because I imagine, I'm talking to the wrong...
Don't make me say things that you're going to have to edit out.
No, I know. I imagine that your group and your people and SPCA people, I mean, mistreatment of animals, after what we've just talked about, it's almost, it's...
unfathomable.
Right. I think, when I was growing up, I remember the line was blurrier between animals and humans, and it seems like it's sharpened, where people are recognizing that animals have real value and they can't just be treated however without consequences.
No,
right?
No. And they're sentient beings. They feel things, they experience things, their bodies remember things. I mean, think about, you've probably seen some videos before where pets get lost and then they're reunited with their human, a year, 2 years, 3 years later. And that reunion says everything. They never forgot, and they're like, you're my person. It's like we're connected on an indescribable, unseeable way.
I mean, losing a child would be number one, but if you had a pet that you loved and you lost them, and then you put up some posters, they're missing, and you never got anything back. I mean, I think you have to think about that when you think about, what's tolerable to what you could do to an animal, right?
Yeah.
Because people on a jury that loved animals, they would hang the person, right?
Again, I'm gonna yes. We could have a whole other conversation.
But the county and the city I think they've improved in laws and things where they have to have some kind of shelter.
It sounds like incredible strides are being made. And, it's not a competition between those groups. At the heart of it, we've got to take care of these animals that other people have not. And you know what the key to this is? Spay and neutering.
Right.
So don't be trivial about that. I know, like my grandparents, great-grandparents, you didn't spay and neuter animals. They were just like farm critters that, they just didn't do that. But it's for the betterment of our society that things like that are done. And a dog can have a litter so fast that could be 12 puppies, and then those puppies are going to have puppies.
Right.
It's an impossible situation to get control of unless people are spaying and neutering.
Because all these animals end up at,
Dumped.
dumped, and then Nicholas Pet Haven, SPCA,
Pets for People,
Angel
Paws. There's so many.
I mean, is there even a quote? When I was a kid, they said they're going to the dog pound.
Yeah.
Is there a dog pound anymore?
Well, I mean, you could say that, but I think the goal of these groups here, and they're really trying to, it sounds like get united about that is, if this group can handle this dog and this one can grab this dog and get them into homes, and whether it's foster or whatever, I think that's the key. If you're really thinking about getting a pet, why don't you go check that out? Why would you? And I love specific breeds. I love that too. I do believe you've got to keep those breeds going just because it's so neat to have them.
French Bulldog?
We have several. We do. We have.
That French Bulldogs looks kind of funny and cute.
They're a nice combo. They're kind of clownish and they snort. They're very loud. But we one of our awesome volunteers, she only has French Bulldogs, and man, they one in particular, Esther, she loves Skyview Prison. She is in her happy place when she gets to go visit the inmates there. So just a snorty little cream colored French Bulldog.
Let's circle back to, we were talking in generally there about love of dogs and, the resources that this community in these groups have put to caring and not just discarding all these animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your focus has been on, finding these animals in the community that then can become therapests.
Yeah.
Improve the human's life. And in order to keep doing that, you guys have to raise money every year.
We do. We do.
You've got people that are probably consistent donors, but then I'm assuming you have some kind of annual fundraising events throughout the year.
We do. We have
kind of give us
several.
Your calendar, and we'll kind of get to the end when you have your gala, your big thing, and talk about that last.
Yes. I think one of the key components of our mission is, there's so many incredible nonprofits in East Texas. I think there's more per capita here than...
There's way too much competition in a good way.
Well, it does feel like that sometimes because if there's $1 on the table...
I can't even go out in public.
I know you can't. We need to get a wig for you or something.
There must be some list that somebody's, passing around because...
Well, your name and your image are everywhere. So,
but people mail stuff all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's hard to break through the noise.
I know.
I think this is the only reason you agreed to come on the show is to get a face-to-face with me.
No,
Now you're hitting me up for the Capitol campaign before I even get out of here.
Get ready. It's going to happen. But no, I think it does feel like a competition, but every dollar that you can put on the table is needed by somebody in this town. And you have to figure out where your heart is. And that's difficult because my heart gets split in a lot of different ways.
My heart's in more places than there's money to give.
Yeah.
But this is a Therapet focus today.
Yes. And so, all of these facilities we serve, I think it's easier sometimes to get donors for those specific organizations. So if you've got a child who's been through horrible trauma and is now in care and going through therapy and learning to tell their story, and we bring a dog in, the urgency feels like it's at that facility. The urgency feels like it's at, the facility that we're partnering with, but we're donor funded too, and we can't go there to be a part of that care and treatment unless we're supported also. So I think that's my constant fight is just don't forget about us. And if you ever witness what we're capable of, you're going to believe in it for the rest of your life.
Hospitals, though, I would think that all of the hospitals and facilities that you went to would just donate.
Mm-hmm.
Not paying you for service, but just in appreciation that they helped keep this organization running every year.
And they do. Our local hospitals that we serve are amazing, specifically for Unleashed, our gala. So we can talk about the gala.
You got to meet the donors. Hang on. This is my favorite part. You got to meet the donors where they are. That must reflect on society here in Smith County.
Mm-hmm.
Stock the bar.
Okay. Stock the bar.
How is that so popular that everybody wants to donate to draw to be able to get a bunch of liquor to put in their bar?
I don't know, but that's it. Okay, so
Junior League did that at Mistletoe.
Yeah.
So everybody's
Yeah.
adopting this.
Yes, I feel like maybe we were the first ones.
I think you were. We're going to give you credit. Therapet
Okay, thank you.
started
Stock the bar.
Stock the bar. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I think this is our 10th year to do it. I think we started.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely way in front of them.
We're in it. And it's grown. So it's our board-supported fundraiser, so they stock the bar. It's with... I just tell them, bring what you like. Bring what you like to drink.
But usually there's a financial amount that you need to bring.
Yes.
You can't bring Mad Dog 2020.
No.
It's got to be.
Well,
it's got to be something.
I'd rather it not be in a plastic jug, if you know what I mean. So,
okay,
let's go for the glass bottles. If you wouldn't drink it, please don't donate it.
How does that generate a donation or revenue for Therapet?
So it's pure money, because all of the product that's going into stocking the bar is donated.
Okay, but I mean, it's liquor. It's not money.
No, but we're getting money for the raffle ticket sales. So we're selling raffle tickets. And we haven't launched it yet. It'll kick off
People
probably around
are giving you the
May
liquor
1st.
for free.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so-
So our board members, our volunteers, they stock the bar. They give us the liquor. If they don't believe in alcohol, then they can donate accessories.
Give you a 6-pack of O'Doul's beer.
Yes, cocktail napkins, little swizzle sticks, fun pool floaties that hold drinks. I mean, margarita machines. It can be accessories too. And so once we get that stock, then we've been able to divide it into 3 packages, and each package is close to $1,000, if not
And
way
so
more.
you're buying these raffle tickets for one of those 3 packages?
Yes, and it's a drawing. So it's one ticket is $20, or a 6-pack of tickets for $100. But let me tell you about something crazy fun we threw in last year, and we're going to do it again this year. We threw out this new concept called the Paws Sport, like a passport, but it's the Paws Sport. So you buy a Paws Sport, and it took you on a tour of Tyler. So we had 5 different restaurants that participated, and you went in with your passport. We had a special stamp made, and you could go to the bar or table when you're dining and have it stamped and get that cocktail. So each restaurant had one specific cocktail that was showcased in the passport.
Huh.
So
you sold those.
we sold those. And so
was it good? Did it work out well?
It bumped our effort up by $6,000, more than what we made the year before, which was huge for us. And I think it'll keep growing. I had a blast with it, and a lot of people had fun. It's like, it's just the cutest little thing, and you get to go support all these amazing local restaurants.
I mean, that is smart. Support.
Nobody steal it. Are you hearing me?
Support our restaurants and people that support the Therapet.
And two,
and you get something. 2
of which, and I hope that they do it again with us. But downtown is real challenged right now. You probably know about that. Prime 102 was one of our restaurants.
And I had Steve on the podcast already.
Okay, well, cool. So Prime 102 and then Heritage Culture was one too for Plaid Rabbit back in the back. If you haven't been to the Speakeasy area, so those were 2 of the 5 restaurants that we had showcased, and we're going to do it again. So we're trying to expand and kind of get creative with that particular fundraiser and make it a little bit more fun.
Your big fundraiser, is it always the Gala?
It is.
All right, Chris, put up our Totally Unleashed is the theme for this year, right?
Yes.
All right.
And
October 24th, 2026.
It's October 24th, WT Brookshire Conference Center. This is our 15th year.
How can someone go if they're not a sponsor and if they don't know anybody, but they just like to go to the party and meet people and see people?
Yes.
How would they go?
Well, first off, I would encourage you to do that. Just buy a ticket. So $150 for a ticket.
What does it get you? People always want to know.
I know. You get in the door, open bar. We have an incredible bartending team. We have signature drinks that are created and named to go with the theme each year.
Of dogs, probably of some kind. But it also it supports your organization from just going to this event, right?
Yes. One really fun part that I think a lot of galas are missing out on, they just can't do it, but we can. We have Therapets there. So the Therapets are the real VIPs that night.
Hey, wait, I said I wanted to have a party earlier, and you said I couldn't have the dogs.
You can't have that. So, but the Therapets are at our party. It's not your party, it's our party. And so it's fun for guests to be able to mingle and meet some of our dogs and just ask, because their human is with them, and say, where does Coco serve? Where does Biscuit serve? Tell me about the journey and what you like to do with this animal of yours. So open bar, silent auction, live auction. If you are a local business and have a silent auction item, especially, I'm wanting to get more things this year that men are interested in. I think a lot of times it's women's stuff.
Give us an example, because, I see that all the time. It says silent and live auction.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I see people has a apartment or a condo somewhere.
Lake house.
And that's kind of in one area and the other. What do you suggest that people have around here that they could put in?
Okay. I think experiences are really fun because it's a good excuse to treat yourself.
Podcast guest.
Yeah. You could do that.
Auction that.
You want
For
to?
Therapet.
You want to?
I'll talk to, but no, I mean, sure, of course,
Yeah.
I would have someone on the show and make a show out of them for you for the thing.
That'd be cool. See, and that could be a live auction thing. So,
and I just thought of that. I didn't plan that coming in because
you're just so creative.
I'm having
Look
to
at
do
you
another
go.
show.
Yeah. But that's a perfect idea. So get creative. You just proved that what's your thing that you do.
Okay, that's my contribution to the capital campaign. Thank you very much.
No, sir. We're not done talking. The conversation has to continue. I'm like a bulldog. But no, the gala. So you come in, we had 70 items on silent auction last year. Huge, amazing. People say our silent auction is just
okay. What kind of thing?
So think about putting together, like Sweet Gourmet always donates to us. They're awesome. So they put
Pam, she's gone.
I know, but they're still
right. I don't know the new people.
Awesome. They're going to keep the torch going. And I mean, if you love food and cooking, go in there. But fun gift basket. A lot of times,
Pam.
Yeah, no, she's cool.
She was my babysitter when I was growing up.
Oh my goodness.
And I hope she doesn't hear this, but she always tells stories about how bad I was. A bad, babysitting person.
I'm shocked.
Anyway,
I'm shocked.
Moving away from
she survived though to tell the tale.
Yes, moving away from Pam back to the silent auction.
But like Bed Bath and Bones, they always put together an amazing package. So I'm just giving
a kennel company.
Yeah, I'm just
for
giving
people that don't know.
Yeah, I'm
where
just
you can
giving
kennel your dog.
A couple of local examples.
Do you like them?
I personally have a pet sitter that comes into my home just because
I hear you.
I like them to be in their home
environment. I don't want
environment.
Coco boxed up for a weekend.
Yeah, but go tour these places and they'll show you what the dog experience is there if you need to board them. But so they'll put together a big boarding package with toys and stuff in a basket, and then any sort of women love Botox, women love fillers, all that stuff.
I know.
So, if you own an establishment like that, you could donate a package for that. And I think of it as it's a good way to get your name out there and also a way for a brand new customer to experience your product.
Like Dolce Vita, a package to go get your hair colored and cut.
Sure.
I don't know. Is that,
sure. Well,
you said woman things.
Yeah. Yes, you could do that. I think probably most women have their tried and true person, and so they may not be so willing to experiment. That's risky. We're not going to take risks with our appearances.
It's a coupon to Supercuts.
Let's not. But the men like that.
Yeah, me.
They don't care.
Maybe use it once.
Yeah, one time. How long you have to grow it out before you need that?
Maybe 6 or 8 months.
Yeah, that's a commitment.
Look like some guy who was, a castaway.
Yes.
On a desert island.
They're like, have y'all seen Jay Chad lately?
I do, Mom.
Yeah. But, if you have a local business, think about what you do, what you offer, and can you put a sampling basket together that's an experience to...
Or a service for like air conditioning to come out and service your unit, just anything like that.
Yes.
So
think about things that people have to spend money on. They'd rather give us a nonprofit the money to get a new set of tires than just hand,
right?
And that's just human psyche.
Oh, that's good. For the dog lovers and the Therapet supporters,
yes,
that listen to this,
yes,
hopefully they will spring into action in more ways than one.
Yes,
right?
Yes. So you can attend, just buy a ticket. I promise you'll have a good time. People tell me all the time, it's one of the most laid back galas that you can go to because we're dog people and we just want to fund the mission that night and be able to keep going. So you get to come in, there's no judgment, nobody cares. Like we do have themes, and it's fun to get into those themes, but you don't have to. You can wear date night attire. It's pretty casual overall. Other people go full out and get into the theme. We've had some amazing fun costumes over the years. But Fund the Mission happens that night. That's its own segment. Live auction, like you mentioned, if you've got a beautiful lake home that you could donate, maybe you've got it on VRBO or Airbnb and you'd be willing to donate, 4-night stay to something like that. Those things do really well in silent or live auction. And it's experiences. People want those. And I think, too, we're seeing more people want to be able to travel closer to home. Lately, the past couple of years, we've offered some long distance trips that don't always do well. I think people want more control and they want to be able to get back home and just drive. So think about that, too. But it's a blast. Now, you can also sponsor. Thank you for your sponsorship.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
I do that so my mother will still love me.
Well, you do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
No, that's really. I'm happy to do it. I think it's good. I mean, the podcast is about. It tries to be about what you're about, which is to highlight people that are doing things for other people and things that are positive for other people. Because the world seems to get poorer, harder, and people are unhealthier sometimes.
I think it's easy to be selfish and unhealthy these days, but this fights that.
We're going to be positive forces here in Smith County. That's our goal, right?
And I think that's one of the beautiful things about Tyler and East Texas is just the compassion that you see in people, the generosity. There's a lot of success here. People work hard for that success, but they don't want to harbor it. And
they're very generous.
They're so generous. And I think they really see that, okay, for us, for example, I promise you, if you end up in the hospital or a family member does, you're going to hope it's a night that we're scheduled to come visit. I know you think that's not going to happen to you, but it could. And, even a 10-minute visit with one of our dogs it's going to change your perspective. I'll tell you one quick story. I know you don't want 30 stories, but one.
I guess I'll take one more.
Okay, just buckle up, deal with it. I don't think this will make you cry. I'm not a weepy person, but I'm not.
I can't watch movies. My wife's always looking at me going, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "No, I'm not crying."
You're sniffly, but you are crying, aren't you?
I'm soft on the inside, hard on the outside.
Okay, good to know. I just don't like to cry. It's just not my jam. But we had a dog going in to just see different patients, and one night knocked on the door and came into the room, and the family was there. It was in probably the last 24 to 48 hours of life. And so they said, we're so sad that Dad can't interact with the dog. He loved dogs. And she was like, well, that's okay. I'm here for you too. I'll come on in and y'all can experience it and get to love on the dog. Comes in, family time. Everybody's kind of smiling, having that moment of just relief from waiting for losing their father and their husband. And so she's like, well, okay, we're going to head to the next room. And he put on the brakes, like locked his legs and would not budge to the point where, it gets kind of awkward.
He didn't want to leave the animal.
Did not want to leave the room. And, you're like, well, my dog's supposed to be obedient. This is kind of awkward. And so sort of pulled her towards the bedside. And she's just trying to follow the lead here. And the dad, he's unresponsive, but his hand was on the bed open. And our dog walked up to him, put his head in the man's hand, and just, we don't know what was going on in that moment, but there was a connection that needed to be made. The dog knew it. Human trusted her dog and just sat there for a couple of minutes and then lifted his head and was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Did what I needed to do. That goes back to the intuition I'm talking about. So, it's so easy as humans to be like, oh, this person doesn't need me. This feels awkward. Should I do X, Y, Z?
Well, you described so many things. I'm sure there are thousands of stories of meaningful interaction because of what you do. We've mentioned this, and we're going to mention it as we end the show. We want people to support you because we want it to be easier for you to make people's lives better. And that means, helping support the new building that's been bought, looking for the capital campaign that's going to be launched, going to the gala, doing what you can.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And all of that can be found at therapet.org.
Yes. And if you have questions about, where the need is, if you've got $1 to spend on this, I'm happy to talk to you or meet with you.
And you just call the office.
Call the office and, we can have a chat about how to plug you in or get your dollar to go towards X, Y, or Z, whatever you feel led to. You can make donations in memory of a person or an animal that you've lost, or just in honor of someone that maybe still exists with you, whether it's an animal or a human. There's just a lot of ways to tribute that. And when we get donations like that, maybe in memory of a dog, we'll send a little card to their human and say, Jane made a donation to Therapet in memory of Scruffy. And, we can put a little message on there. There's a lot of ways that we can try to help you reach people.
Well, Elysia, I want to thank you for being here today. This has been good. You are better in person.
Watch yourself. What are you going to say?
Than I anticipated. I mean, certainly you have a radiance about you when you talk about pets, and so I think people are going to be excited to watch this. And I think we're lucky to have captured this, and I appreciate you being on the show again.
Well, I can't thank you enough. I think it's a blessing that you have this platform and an audience that tunes in so consistently. And I bet some people learned things today that they didn't know and probably had not heard about us. And that's huge for us. So I can't thank you enough for just allowing me to be here. It's been a treat.
Yeah, my time right now.